CNBC-TV18 Weekender.
Welcome back. We're in deep conversation with Bharat Puri of Pidilite. Bharat, you spoke about Pidilite wanting to be the leader of innovation. Where do you see a lot of opportunity as far as Pidilite is concerned right now?
See, the wonderful thing for us is each of our categories, whether it is, for example, wood glues, whether it is waterproofing, whether it's the whole art and craft space, or whether it's do-it-yourself, or whether it's B2B. There is no shortage of opportunity. I mean, the wonderful thing about a growing economy like ours and the categories that we are in is that it's really about the choices we make. And as I keep telling my team, a lot of times the things that we choose not to do rather than just the things that we choose to do. And you will see action across all of these fronts.
So what are you not doing right now?
We're not doing a lot more of the smaller stuff. We're not doing things that are a single country specific. We're saying, hey guys, our way going forward is fewer, faster, bigger, better. Fewer stuff, done faster, made bigger and better than anybody else.
What is the next leg of growth for Fevicol as a product or the mother brand?
See, the good thing with Fevicol is, remember, Fevicol is still one of our strong drivers of growth. I keep telling our teams that in Pidilite, we have three kinds of categories. I call these core categories, growth categories, and pioneer categories.
Right.
Okay, and let me spend a minute. Core should grow at 1 to 1.5 times GDP. Growth should grow at 2 and 2.5 times GDP. And pioneer should be tomorrow's growth categories. Our job in Pidilite is to make sure that we have a portfolio across three. Fevicol is one of our strong drivers of growth.
Right now? Fevicol, Fevikwik,
for example, Fevicol, Fevikwik, and M-Seal. These would be all part of my core. Things like waterproofing would be part of my growth. The whole large user segments, both in waterproofing and in joineries, the large amount of organized furniture, that's part of growth. Bangladesh, Sri Lanka are part of my growth. And then you'll have a set of pioneer categories, for example, tiling. In India, less than 5% of people use adhesives when they put tiles. That's a market to be created. That's a pioneer category. So for us in Pidilite, it's a question of having a portfolio across three. Fevicol, for example, is a master brand with over 250 SKUs.
Yep.
In the last 2 years, we would have introduced at least 5 new variants of Fevicol. We're just doing right now a Fevicol which is actually for the back, for waterproofing, for the back of wood. So there is always an innovation pipeline at Pidilite which is up and running.
Something that needs a Fevikwik sort of solution for the company right now is the elastomer project. What's taking so long to sell it?
See, we're clear that this is something we don't want to do on our own. We must find the right partners to do it. Work is on. And again, this is something that in true Pidilite fashion, we're not going to do just for the sake of doing. We will do it right, find the right partner and then move forward. So watch the space.
What are the issues? I mean, what is it that it's taking you so long?
Just finding the right partner and making sure that they see value in that.
What do you mean a right partner? Is that
somebody who's, who has a global footprint or at least has experience in this area?
How much of your revenue at any given point in time comes from products which have been launched in the last 2 years?
We're very clear. We have a very simple formula. 2/3 of our growth comes out of growing the core. 1/3 of our growth comes out of innovation. Innovation is defined anything launched in the last 3 years. That's my simple target to all my teams. 2/3 grow the core, 1/3 innovation. That's what will keep us going.
According to you, your best innovation in the last 3 years?
It's a product called Fevicol Hyper.
Okay.
It is a high performance Fevicol, which is it's part of the premiumization of Fevicol, and for which people are willing to pay a higher price because of the speed.
Would it account for, say, 10-15% of the Fevicol portfolio?
Around that much, let's say.
Industrial business has been struggling for a bit, right?
See, the uniqueness of our industrial business is, I'd correct you, it's not struggling. We have slowly and steadily got out of the commodity end of the business. So our industrial business is also therefore a good profit-making business. Obviously, its growth correlates to industrial growth in those sectors. But it's a nice jewel business, grows steadily. It doesn't grow as fast as consumer and bazaar, largely because the opportunity is smaller. And makes good money because we're not interested in volumes for the sake of volumes. We're interested in profitable growth. That's where our focus is.
You worked at both Asian Paints as well as Pidilite. If you could tell us what exactly could be the similarities and differences between the companies?
I think both companies have a passion for their businesses. Both companies want to create institutions. They want to create institutions, and therefore they both, strongly create institutions for the future. Both have a very strong customer and consumer orientation. So lots of similarities in the DNA. Differences obviously in categories at the stages of their evolution. But DNA, there are a fair amount of similarities.
Is there a possibility of any sort of future collaboration? Get the Danis as well as the Parikhs to sit maybe?
As of now, we haven't considered that. But, given that you suggested, I will suggest it to them and leave it to them.
No, because, Asian Paints wants to get into adhesives. Not sure if Pidilite wants to get into paints yet. Any sort of synergies that could happen?
Adhesives is a very small part of their portfolio. Paints is a very small part of our portfolio. And therefore, the synergies could only be at the back end. Now, as far as competition is concerned, categories are going to blur across industry as we go forward. Everybody is going to look at new avenues of growth. At Pidilite, what we must focus on is we must delight our consumer and customer better than anybody else. And then we'll leave all of the backroom stuff to people like you.
Okay, so no possibility of a collaboration.
I have a lot of personal friends at Asian Paints, but as far as business is concerned, I think this is something, which you've suggested. I shall suggest to both the promoters and leave it to them.
All right, we'll leave it to them. But a lot of the other companies, smaller companies, trying to eat into the Fevicol market share. What does it take for them to do that?
Competition has always existed, given our size and the strength of our brand. And frankly, competition is more than welcome. Most times it will help expand the market. As far as we are concerned, as I said, our job is to make sure we keep doing what we're really good at. And best of luck to all the competitors.
One thing I have to congratulate you on is the advertising that Fevicol does.
I don't know of any other country where an adhesive brand, which the consumer doesn't see after it's been used, every year in each of the brand equity studies, it doesn't matter who conducts it, we're always amongst the top 10 household brands.
Absolutely.
It is something which we are passionate about. Any work that Pidilite puts up, we want to stand beside it and be proud of it. So we will never do work for the sake of doing work.
Now you guys are so proud that most of the Fevicol ads actually make it to the cover of your annual reports. I must say that. I was talking to Imami earlier, and they told me the story of how Munni Badnaam Hui came into Dabang and they had the Zandu Balm product. Come Dabang 2, you had another song, Chipkale Se Ya Fevicol Se. How did that happen?
Actually, in this case, we hadn't gone to them. They came to us and we said, listen, if you're going to use Fevicol, we have to participate jointly in the writing of the song, so on and so forth, and how it's done. And that's how it came about. And it plays wherever you go, even now.
I'm sure at some North Indian wedding, you would have shaken your leg to that.
Oh, I've shaken my leg to that at many of my sales conferences. We don't have a sales conference where it doesn't play.
Okay, let's slip into a short break. Come back, we talk about some fun stuff with Bharat Puri.
CNBC-TV18 Weekender.